before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, because what you're about to hear isn't just another crime story. It's how one of America's most dangerous fugitives walked straight into the trap set for him and didn't even see it coming. The story begins on a cold February night in 2019. The rain had turned the cracked streets of Cleveland into mirrors, reflecting the flashing blue of unmarked police lights hidden 2 blocks away. Detective Raymond Cole sat behind the wheel of a rusted van, eyes fixed on the warehouse across the street. Inside that building was a man the FBI had hunted for over 6 years. Marcus Ghost Harlow, a name whispered in law enforcement circles like a curse. Harlow wasn't just a criminal. He was a phantom, a former military contractor who'd gone rogue after a botched weapons deal in Arizona left 2 federal agents dead. Since then, he'd vanished, resurfacing only in security footage tied to high-end burglaries, cash van heists, and even suspected arms smuggling. The Bureau had labeled him America's Most Wanted, and tonight, after years of false leads, they finally had him cornered. Cole checked his watch. 11:43 p.m. The operation, codenamed Iron Veil, was weeks in the making. The FBI had created a fake black market auction, luring Harlow with the promise of a buyer for stolen microchips used in military drones. Everything was staged, the buyer, the money, even the courier. All that was left was for Harlow to show up and take the bait. Inside the warehouse, undercover agent Lena Morales pretended to count stacks of fake cash, her earpiece whispering updates from a command van. She was one of the Bureau's best negotiators, but this job was different. This time, she wasn't negotiating. She was bait. Her pulse quickened when she saw headlights slice through the rain outside. A black SUV rolled up to the gate. 2 men stepped out first, scanning the area, followed by a tall figure in a gray coat. Even through the rain and distance, Morales recognized a face from dozens of case files. Sharp jawline, calm eyes, no fear. Marcus Harlow. The sting was live. Cole signaled the tactical team to hold position. They needed Harlow to step inside before making the move, but something felt off. The SUV's engine didn't shut off. The men at the gate didn't move to open it. They stood still, eyes darting across the street. Then Cole noticed it, a faint red glint under the van's windshield, a sniper's laser. "Team Bravo, we've been made," he hissed into the radio. "Abort the entry. Repeat, abort." Before anyone could respond, a gunshot shattered the silence. The bullet ripped through the van's side mirror. Then another, closer this time. Morales hit the ground inside the warehouse as the windows exploded. The FBI had been ambushed. For 15 chaotic seconds, everything turned to noise, rain, gunfire, shouts, and static. Cole dug for cover, crawling toward the back door. He could hear the SUV peeling away, tires screaming against wet asphalt. When the firing finally stopped, 3 agents were down, 1 missing, and Harlow was gone. Again, as medics rushed in, Cole's radio crackled with the voice of Agent Morales. Shaky but alive. He knew. Ray, he knew about the sting. Someone tipped him off. Cole froze. Only 7 people knew about Operation Iron Veil, and one of them had just betrayed them all. Cole stared at the shattered windshield, his breath fogging the glass as emergency lights painted the rain-soaked night red and blue. The sting was supposed to be flawless, months of surveillance, encrypted communication, and airtight planning. Yet Marcus Ghost, Harlow had slipped through their hands again. The realization burned through him like acid. Someone inside had sold them out. By dawn, the warehouse was crawling with agents from Washington, collecting shell casings, pulling security footage, and whispering about the betrayal. Morales sat on the back of an ambulance, a bloodied scrape running along her cheek. "He wasn't supposed to know Ray," she said quietly. "He looked right at me before it started, like he'd been expecting me." Cole said nothing. He was too busy replaying the night in his head. The timing of the sniper, the precision of the escape, the way Harlow's convoy moved like it had been rehearsed. This wasn't luck. It was intelligence. Inside the mobile command unit, the tension was thick. Supervising Agent Samuel Decker, a grizzled veteran who'd hunted fugitives for 20 years, slammed his fist against the table. This was an inside breach. No way Harlow gets our coordinates without help. Cole glanced around at the small group of authorized officers. Himself, Morales, Decker, tech analyst Ryan Wolf, logistics chief Janet Reeves, and 2 field coordinators. 7 people. That was it. And one was a traitor. Start with communications. Cole ordered. If Harlow got tipped, he didn't do it by telepathy. Wolf nodded, typing rapidly. Within minutes, encrypted message logs flashed on the screen, a stream of internal emails, timestamps, and GPS logs. But one entry stood out. An outgoing message from a secure terminal had been sent less than an hour before the sting. No recipient listed, no return signal. Just one strange code phrase in the subject line. The sparrow flies at midnight. Who uses poetic code in 2019? Morales muttered. Wolf's fingers trembled slightly as he traced the source. It came from a bureau terminal, Cleveland Division, logged under Agent Janet Reeves. The room fell silent. Reeves looked stunned. That's impossible, she said, standing up. I wasn't even near my system. My credentials must have been cloned. But her voice cracked mid-sentence, and Cole noticed something small, the faint mark of adhesive on her wrist where a burner mic patch had recently been removed. Sit down, Janet, Decker said slowly. Reeves backed away. You don't understand. Harlow has my brother. He said he'd kill him if I didn't. Before she could finish, the lights cut out. The entire mobile command center went dark. The sound of rain vanished beneath a deafening silence. Cole's instincts kicked in. Everyone down, he shouted. A flash lit up the sky, followed by a concussive blast that shook the ground. When the smoke cleared, the van that had been parked beside their command post was burning. The backup servers, their only digital evidence, gone. Reeves was gone too. Within minutes, every road out of Cleveland was locked down. Cole and Morales sped toward the interstate in an unmarked car, tracking Reeves' phone signal. The GPS blipped across the screen, westbound, moving fast. She's running to him, Morales said. Cole's jaw tightened. Then we follow. As they tore through the night, the radio crackled again. It was Decker, his voice ragged through static. Cole, we found something in her desk. A second ID badge. Not bureau-issued. It's military. Cole's grip tightened on the wheel. Whose name? Marcus Harlow. For a moment, the car felt weightless. Morales turned slowly toward Cole, disbelief in her eyes. She wasn't working against him, she whispered. She used to work with him. Asterisk. The truth hit like a bullet. Janet Reeves hadn't just leaked the operation. She'd helped build Harlow's empire from the inside. And now she was leading them straight back to him. The rain had turned into a storm by the time Cole and Morales crossed into Indiana. The highway shimmered under streaks of lightning, and the windshield wipers beat a frantic rhythm against the pounding rain. Janet Reeves' phone signal was still live, bouncing between towers near an abandoned airstrip 30 miles ahead. Cole's knuckles whitened around the steering wheel. She's heading for an extraction point, he muttered. He's not running anymore. He's regrouping. Morales watched the signal flicker on the GPS, her face lit by the screen's glow. If Harlow's there, this is our last shot. When they reached the airfield, the storm was at its peak. The control tower stood like a ghost in the distance, its windows shattered and rust streaking down the concrete walls. Through the rain, they spotted a dim light inside one of the hangars. Cole killed the engine. We go quiet, he said. If he's there, he's armed and ready. Inside, the air smelled of oil and damp metal. A single plane sat at the far end, its engine idling low, propellers slicing through the rain. Beside it stood Marcus Harlow, calm, collected, his coat dripping water. And kneeling in front of him, hands tied, was Janet Reeves. Harlow turned as if he'd known they were there all along. Detective Cole, he said smoothly. You're persistent. I'll give you that. Cole's gun was raised, steady. It's over, Harlow. Step away from her. But Harlow only smiled. You still think this is about me escaping, don't you? You think you've cornered me. You never understood what this was really about. Morales circled slowly to the right, her finger tight on the trigger. Enlighten us, she said. Harlow gestured toward Reeves. You think she betrayed you, but she didn't. She did exactly what I told her to do. Bring you here. Cole's heart pounded. Why? The hangar lights suddenly flickered to life. A low hum filled the space. From the ceiling, small red sensors blinked, motion detectors. Beneath their feet, he heard it. The faint tick of a timer. Morales' eyes widened. Ray. Harlow raised his hands slightly. Don't worry. I'm not suicidal. The plane's wired to blow, not me. But before you make any heroic moves, you should know something. The files you lost in the blast last night weren't the only copies. Everything about your bureau, every operation, every agent identity. I downloaded them years ago. This sting was never about me running. It was about wiping my trail clean and yours with it. Cole lunged forward, grabbing Reeves and pulling her to cover. Morales fired. One clean shot, striking the detonator panel. Sparks flew. Harlow dug behind the plane as fire erupted across the floor. The explosion threw Cole backward, the shock wave slamming him into the concrete wall. When he came to, the hangar was engulfed in flames. The plane was gone, or what was left of it. Reeves lay unconscious beside him. Morales was already on her radio, calling for backup. Through the smoke, Cole limped toward the wreckage, coughing, searching for any sign of Harlow. But there was nothing, no body, no trace, just the echo of the blast and the smell of burning fuel. Hours later, as dawn broke, firefighters picked through the rubble. Morales handed Cole a sealed evidence bag. Inside was a single item recovered near the wreckage, a military dog tag, blackened by fire, the name etched into the metal red, Marcus J. Harlow. Cole stared at it, expression unreadable. He's not dead, he said finally. He planned this too perfectly. Morales frowned. Then where is he? Cole looked toward the horizon, where smoke still drifted into morning sky. Somewhere watching, waiting. That's what ghosts do. Weeks later, the Bureau declared Harlow presumed dead. Cole returned to Cleveland, promoted to lead investigator on internal corruption. But one night, as he poured himself a drink in his dim apartment, his phone buzzed with an unknown number. He hesitated, then answered. A familiar voice crackled through the static. Detective Cole, the sparrow flies again. The line went dead. Cole stared at the phone, frozen. And outside his window, across the street, a man in a gray coat stepped into a black SUV and disappeared into the night.